is predicting 115 million Americans are expected to travel over Christmas and New Year's. Joining us now to talk about this year's forecast in more depth is Public Affairs Specialist Don Redman. Always good to see you, Don. Very quick question for you. How do you guys compile these numbers? What's that a forecast based on?
We have a survey that we conduct about a month out from the holidays, and we contract a service that does it, calling thousands of either members and regular members of the public as well, not just AAA members, to kind of gauge what their plans are for the holidays.
Alrighty, well, we're talking about a 10-day period here because you're going from Christmas all the way through New Year's, and it looks like a record number of people going to be on the roads, particularly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big number of people. In fact, the second busiest Christmas, New Year's holiday since we've been recording in 2000. So beat only by 2019, which had about 119 million travelers. We're projecting about 115 million this holiday. So yeah, a bunch of people, and the bulk of those, of course, will be on the road.
And I noticed in the information sent to us by AAA, you have kind of a breakdown which are going to be the most where people will see the heaviest traffic, and what are the big days? What are kind of the big travel days that people might want to avoid if possible?
Right. I mean, obviously Christmas Eve day is going to be a big day. Once you get into Friday, Thursday, and Friday, those are going to be big travel days. You certainly want to be on the road before noon, particularly when we're looking at Thursday and into Friday. You can imagine that those who have to work the entire week, once they get off of work on Friday, it's going to be really congested. So again, if you can head out before noon on either of those days, you're likely to avoid a lot of heavy traffic.
What about out at the airports and dealing with TSA and everything? Are there times where people can expect the traffic to be a little lighter?
Yeah, we're being warned right now that there's a lot of weather at play. And as we just saw in the forecast, it's not all pleasant weather. So depending on where you're traveling, whether the West Coast or to the East Coast and even the Midwest, they're talking about potential storms that could disrupt flights. And so make sure that you have, if you're flying, that you have your airline contact information, the app, the updates for what the status is of your flight. Keep an eye on the weather. If you have some carry-on luggage, we strongly encourage you to have an extra set of clothes in there in case you're forced to stay over because of cancellations or flight delays because of weather. So it's something you really have to stay on top of. Certainly encourage you to get to the airport at least 2 hours in advance. If it's an international flight, at least 3 hours in advance.
Great advice, as usual, from AAA. Don Redman, thanks for being with us down here on the Mississippi coast.